What's up, Bulls Nation? This is the Bloody Horns podcast. I'm your host, Justin. And let me preface this with, if you are looking for rational, sane analysis, you've come to the wrong video. I slept about 4 hours last night. You know, the game ended at 11. I had my first client at 4:30 this morning. So I hopped in the cold tub. I had 2 shots of pre-workout and I got after it. So these are the ramblings of a madman right now. A man whose brain probably isn't working quite right. But I had an epiphany when I was finishing my workout today, and that is LeBron James is a future Chicago Bull, or at least there's a very easy path for LeBron James to become a future Chicago Bull, for LeBron James to finish his career in Chicago. And what better way for the third greatest player of all time to go out than to bring a championship back to a city that's been starving for a championship since the greatest player of all time left. That's a fucking poetic ending to a career if I've ever heard one. So let me get into this, right? So here's the plan. Here's the rough plan. The Bulls, we own our first round pick this year. We're going to make the play-in tournament. Hopefully we actually make the playoffs. You guys know I've been a big proponent of that. I want to see Kobe White in those situations. So, you know, let's say we get the 8th seed. Then our pick is, what was the Miami pick last year? 18th. Our pick is probably, 18, 17, something like that. It's in the late teens, right? And we already know that Zach LaVine is not getting traded this trade deadline, or at least it's very, very unlikely that he gets traded this trade deadline, both because of his contract, his trade value, and of course the ankle injury now, and the injury prone tag that is just attached to him now. Whether that's fair or unfair, that's just the reality of the business. So the Bulls, we're going to be picking in the late teens. This draft, I'm sure by the time we get to June, people will be hyping up certain projects or prospects and stuff, but right now, this draft is looking kind of trash. There's no bona fide surefire guys in it. So what better use of your draft pick than to pick Bronny James? When you're picking Bronny James, his game leaves a lot to be desired. He's not his dad. He's a little shorter. He's probably going to be a point guard in the NBA. His shooting's getting a little better. He doesn't quite have his dad's athleticism, but he's still got good genetics. He has athleticism, and I will give him this. He is 10 times better than any of Michael Jordan's sons. So Bronny's going to be an NBA player. Why not take him? Take Bronny James. You're going to get intrigue into the fan base. You're going to inject some excitement from the outside world into the fan base. People will be paying attention to the Bulls just on that draft pick alone. And then LeBron James, he's a free agent this offseason. He's been very vocal that he wants to play with his son, that's how he wants to finish his career. So you're drafting Bronny James with the understanding you're bringing in LeBron James. And say what you want about LeBron, he'll be 40 years old by the time he puts that Chicago Bulls uniform on. But this dude's a freak, man. He takes care of his health better than any athlete in sports history. Yes, even better than Tom Brady. Compare their bodies. Tom Brady, he got that skinny fat look. And yeah, he was able to sling a football for like 37 years. But look at LeBron James, man. He still looks like a fucking Greek gladiator out there at his age. So LeBron James, the best athlete I've ever seen when it comes to aging and keeping your athleticism into old age. So you're bringing a guy like that in, he'll be 40, but he could still play, as evidenced by this year. And with that, not only are you injecting more jersey sales, more money, we know Reinsdorf is all about the money, you're injecting all that into the culture, but you become instant contenders when LeBron's on your team. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say the Lakers aren't instant contenders. Well, if the Lakers sneak into the play-in, I'm not going to be surprised if they are this year's Miami Heat, where they actually make a deep playoff run coming in out of the play-in tournament, just because they have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And in a playoff series, it's kind of hard to bet against those guys. So you get LeBron James on your career, you get on your team, you get instant credibility. And the way we could do it, too, is we could sign LeBron James to a 1-year, $40 million contract. It's the understanding this is your last year, play with your son, take a bow, take a final lap, take a victory tour. We sign him to that deal. We don't have that cap space, obviously, so we take Zach LaVine and we flip him in that sign and trade. Now we have brought LeBron James into the fold while also dumping Zach LaVine's money onto the Lakers. So that's a win-win. The Lakers, they get to stay competitive. Zach LaVine and Anthony Davis, that's a nice little pick and roll duo, a nice little 1-2. They'll have a little bit of cap space, some contracts they can maneuver to this offseason to try to bring in a third guy. The Lakers stay relevant because Anthony Davis, he's 30 years old. You figure he's got at least 4 more good years in him. So the Lakers stay relevant. The Bulls bring in LeBron James. Now, we got LeBron James. Not only do we have LeBron James, we have LeBron James in the Eastern Conference. And Eastern Conference LeBron James is a different animal. The last time we saw LeBron James in the Eastern Conference, what did he reel off? 6 straight finals appearances? Maybe more. 8. It's got to be 8 straight, right? Because he had 4 straight with the Heat, 4 straight with the Cavs. Yeah, he had 8 straight finals appearances. And I don't care about his finals record. I get kind of annoyed when people throw that out there because to me, it's like, okay, you finished as the second best team in the NBA. You lost in the finals. How is that somehow worse than getting bounced in the first round or bounced in the second round or bounced in the conference finals? Like, it's still an accomplishment to make the finals. So we get Eastern Conference LeBron James. We get hungry LeBron James. We get him playing with his son. We get LeBron James in the United Center where there's the mystique of Michael Jordan. There's something to play for every single night, and that's going to be a scary LeBron James. So you trade Zach LaVine. You bring in LeBron James. I don't know if DeMar DeRozan sticks around. I don't know what you do with the rest of the roster, but I'm just saying, you got Kobe White, you got Ayo Dosunmu, who's been a terror off the bench lately. I love that he's just getting the ball and he's going. He's just pushing it on the break. You got Alex Caruso still in-house, Patrick Williams, LeBron James, Bronny James. We're going to make moves. We're going to make a deep finals run. We could have a championship parade in Grant Park, summer of 2025. I see the vision. I don't know if you guys see the vision. I don't know if I convinced you guys at all, but I see it, man. I'm calling it. LeBron James is a Chicago Bull 2024. Let's fucking go. Let's do this thing. I'm hyped for it. I'm ready for it. I will buy that number 6 jersey in all 3 colors, white, red, black. Let's fucking go. Let's get LeBron James on this team. Zach LaVine, congrats. You are a Los Angeles Laker like you've always wanted to be. And both parties win. Both parties are happy. So let me know in the comments, what you guys think. I'm sure a lot of people are going to have a lot of things to say. I'm sure the MJ stands out there are going to have a lot of things to say, but I think it makes sense. I think it's rational. I think it could happen. Once again, I'm running on 3.5, maybe 4 hours of sleep. I don't really know what I'm saying right now, but I think it makes sense. I think we should do it. If you guys are not subscribed, please subscribe to the page here. Try to grow this YouTube page. If you're not following on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, the handle is all the same, @HornsBloody. If you haven't listened to the new podcast yet, it's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Spotify. I deep dove every transaction that AKME have ever made, and I graded all of them, and they're middle of the road front office. They're not great, obviously, but they could be worse. They could be like Detroit. Detroit just keeps making bad move after bad move after bad move. So it could be worse. Check out the podcast. Let me know. Take it easy, Bulls Nation. Bulls are back Thursday against the Lakers. So we get to see future Bull LeBron James in that matchup.